نحمده تعالى ونشكره تعالى. We thank our Creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us closer to the month of Ramadan. In order for us to accomplish that which is most beneficial, there are certain things we have to do to prepare ourselves for it. Through simple example, no one intends to run a marathon on a whim. That means you don't just get up on the morning of the marathon and say, I'm going to run the marathon. If you did that, chances are you will be very, very sore the next day. Aside from the fact that you may never run its full length. So in order to be successful at the marathon, you have to prepare months and months, if not some people years in advance. And the same applies to fasting. In order for us to attain the best connection with our Creator, we have to prepare in advance. So this way we are able to attain the benefit of this given spiritual act. As a side note, I happened to go to an event yesterday and it was amazing. It was a pre-Ramadan program. Particular scholars were invited, and it amazed me that in order for people to come to the event, they had to have every type of food that you could think of. I can understand catering from one restaurant. I can understand catering from 2 restaurants, but catering from 4 different restaurants. The amount of food I think could have fed, although there were only about 400 people, I honestly think we could have fed about 700 to 800 people. And one begins to wonder, what is the purpose of such events wherein on the one hand you're trying to get people ready for the month of Ramadan, on the other hand you are reminding them continually of food, which creates tremendous amount of fear in many people when the month of Ramadan comes. Let me give you a simple example. There was a fellow that pretty much fasted in the month of Ramadan but did not fast. Let me explain myself. So he says, I will not eat all day, but at the same time I did not make niyyah for fasting. I said, so why didn't you make intention for fasting? And he says, I had this fear that I may get very, very hungry and I would need to eat. So therefore, I will not eat in the morning, but I will not make the intention of not eating in case that I got very, very hungry. And if I did get very hungry, then I will eat whatever I needed to eat. So this way I don't starve myself. And this is, by the way, a very valid concern that many of our youth bring up from time to time. So my point is, my brothers and sisters, the more you are going to look at food and the more you're going to take part in events that only has food, even under the name of Ramadan preparation, etc., etc., it is not going to create a higher level of concern for fasting, which will result in a lower rate of connection between ourselves and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What I'm getting at is, we have to prepare ourselves. That is why we try to fast as best as we can 2 times every week, 3 times every month. Try to fast in accordance to the days in which the Prophet ﷺ used to fast. And you can do this with one simple Google search. What are the 2 days that it is simple, that it is sunnah to fast? What 2 days is sunnah to fast? Which 3 days of the month the Prophet of Allah used to fast? And again, many of us do these Google searches and we get the data and we say, see, I know a sunnah. It's not about knowing a sunnah as much as it is following a sunnah. And by the way, let me just say as a side note, rest assured, if many of our brothers fasted these extra fasts that I'm referring to, our families will not only have less cooking issues, number one, it'll also help us with our health. There's a research that came out there that said people that fast have better health than people that don't fast. Why is it? what the saying goes, less you put in, the less negatives you will take out. Meaning that less sodium intake, less fat intake, less unhealthy product intake, etc., etc. So fasting is not only a spiritual benefit, inshallah, but it will also create a physical benefit and a social benefit to the environment, etc. Now, of course, as Muslims, this is not why we fast. We fast because it is to make us sensitive to the rights of others, sensitive to the rights of Allah, sensitive to the rights of the poor, sensitive to the rights of the needy. So, in conclusion, what preparation have you made? We don't take an exam without preparing. We don't go to meet guests without preparing. We don't go to a wedding without preparing. And if we are the one getting married, absolutely we will make preparations for it. Everything requires preparation. And my question is, for the month of Ramadan, it's never too late. What have you done? What have I done? I got to be asking myself to get myself ready. So this way, when the month of Ramadan comes, we are already in motion. We are not like, oh, I'm getting too hungry, I'm getting too this, I'm getting too that, how am I going to manage? I'm getting headaches. All that is done way before, if it is to be done, of course. And this way, when the month of Ramadan comes, not only can we appreciate it, but we can help also motivate others with our strength. So this way, not only we get reward, inshallah, but we can also get reward by helping others, because we'll be in good health, inshallah. We'll be ready for it. And we can motivate and help others also attain. This way, we get reward for doing it ourselves, and also get reward, inshallah, for motivating not only our families, but friends and community members alike. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, inshallah, our Ramadan, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us attain everything that is beneficial and that we ought to attain from the month of Ramadan, as the Quran says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may attain consciousness, goodness, and that which is the best. وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا أَنِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ.